Risk Nikita Tszyu didn't have to take, but the youngster Tszyu isn't afraid of failure ahead of his bout with Michael Zerafa. Tszyu caught up with our reporter Cody Kaye ahead of the fight.
Nikita, a couple of weeks away from what is undeniably the biggest fight of your career, the biggest test of your career. And I know you're somebody that thinks pretty deeply about the guys that you're fighting against and the moments that are ahead of you. How much are you putting on the line to fight a guy like Michael Zerafa that, if I'm completely honest with, I don't know that you should have taken this fight at this stage of your career?
Well, I feel like I put everything on the line every time I fight. Every one of my fights is a huge risk, and the whole nature of the sport. You risk it to get the biscuit. Has
there been ever a moment in this training camp? Because I remember when I spoke to you, I think about 2 months ago, and you said, I'm actually scared of this fight because it's a tough fight. And I wonder if there's been a moment throughout this camp where you've gone, Michael needs to be scared of me. Like, you feel, if there's been a moment where it's switched for you, or is the fear just always there?
You're talking about my fear or his fear?
You.
My fear?
Yeah.
I always experience fear no matter what, with every fight. It's a pretty scary sport. But the fear is what kind of brings the focus in. Throughout this preparation, I know everyone always says they have great preparations and all that, but I really stepped it up a notch, and I can feel the improvements coming in, and it is because of that fear of losing, that fear of being beaten. It brings a level of focus for you.
That actually brings up a couple of things I wanted to ask you about. As an undefeated fighter, does a first loss scare you?
No, it's not so much the loss, it's the I guess it's more of just like the failure of it all. But it's, I don't know if it actually is the loss, because I don't really feel losing.
Is it in some way an invincibility that you have when you haven't been beaten?
No, it's not that. I honestly don't feel losing. I've lost a couple times in the amateurs, and I know the feeling. It's not a great feeling, but it's not like the end of the world. My biggest fear, I think, is not preparing well and kind of cutting corners, and that self-defeat is where I think I fear the most. But I've really pushed myself in this one and haven't cut any corners, so I always think whatever happens, happens. But the sport in general is scary. That's what I'm trying to communicate. It's a daunting thing, getting into a ring with all this noise, all these people watching, essentially putting your life on the line and your career on the line every time you do it. But the actual outcome of it all, as long as I fight my heart out and do everything that I was meant to do, then whatever.
I'm quite certain that there has never been a fight in which a Tszyu has been underprepared and hasn't pushed themselves to the absolute limit to get there. And I know the guys you've been sparring against, I know you spent a lot of time in here with Dylan Biggs. I had a couple of sessions with him, Matt Greaves as well. Like, I know how hard you've worked. I also know that you've been tested a lot in your young career. I mean, one of the first ones against Ben Horn, it might have even been the first one, the Cohen Mazzuti fight, which you spoke about earlier. I think one thing you probably have learned about yourself in a young career is what happens when you're tested and what sort of character you have. Does that hold you in good stead for a fight against a guy like Michael, who's had 175 more rounds as a professional than you? He's fought all across the world. He's had world title shots. Yeah, well, I know what to expect. I know how to silence that voice in my head when things get tough and is looking for a way out. I know how to tell him to shut the up and keep going. Do you think, I mean, Michael keeps saying that he's the underdog. Do you think that he really believes that? I don't expect it to be in Michael's head, but you certainly have had a long experience with Michael.
I mean, I don't even care what this underdog, yeah, it doesn't matter. We're going to get in there and fight. Who cares? Who cares what the expectations of it all are? We're going to be two men getting into a ring, and we're going to try and beat the living out of each other.
It goes without saying that if you get past Michael, your career goes is accelerated, I mean, you'll end up in a place that you probably wouldn't have got to with a couple of years, because it's a big fight. Everybody knows who Michael is. Everybody in this country is going to be watching. Do you allow yourself to think about the doors that open once you get past Zerafa?
I try and I live in the present, but I'm always kind of hopeful of the future. So I understand what's at stake, but I'm still in the day-to-day. I know, like, I'm not even thinking too much craziness about the fight right now, because it's still a week away. Right now, my focus is getting these interviews done and then getting a good session in and just, like, repeating the stuff that I've been doing day-to-days.
You're going to see him in Melbourne, you're going to see him in Brisbane this week. Looking forward to it?
I mean, always. I always look forward to seeing my meat before I eat it.